Hi, today we are going to see how we can connect to SAP from the Mule 4. Okay, so before getting to the actual demo, so if you have not subscribed to my channel Tech Lightning, please do subscribe. So then only whenever I upload any MuleSoft related videos, then you will get a notification. So I have a lot of videos related to MuleSoft. So whenever I upload any videos, you'll get a notification as well. So today's topic, how we can connect to SAP, right? So we will get into the today's demo. So what I did is I just created an empty project. Okay, so and then this is the empty project, and what I did is I did two things. I did a right click and create a new project. I created a SAP demo, so which is empty, and then I added one config.property file. So I added one config.property. I just went right click and new, and then I selected a file, and then I gave a config.property, and then where I have added the configuration for SAP system. Okay, so this is the two things I have added, and now we are going to do a remaining things. Okay, so how we are going to trigger our flow is we are going to trigger our flow via HTTP. So whenever there is a request coming from HTTP, we are going to get the input from our HTTP request, and which I'm going to pass it to SAP function. And from the SAP function, it's going to execute in the SAP system, and it's going to give a response back. So what we are going to do, we are going to HTTP is going to send a request, and then we are going to call SAP function, and SAP is going to respond with some response. So this is what we are going to do, and I'll just make the font little big. Yeah, so HTTP request is coming, and SAP function, and then SAP response is going to come. So we are going to invoke a function, or we call it as a remote function module. So or we call it as a remote function call. So that is what we are going to invoke, which is RFC. Okay. So in the config file, what I have done is I have added this configuration only: SAP host name, which SAP system we are going to connect, and it's a credential, username and password, and SAP system number. It's a 2-digit number. You can ask your SAP team all these 5 values. And some of the system, it will have, they have a 00, and whatever the system I'm going to connect, which is a 50, and client number, it's like 800, 500, some numbers are there, so which also you can ask SAP team. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to call this SAP function, which is available in the SAP. I'm going to feed this input as a transaction ID, because this method needs input like transaction ID. Once I pass that, it's going to give some IDOC number as output. Okay, so it will give some IDOC number as output. So that is the functionality of this particular function, inbound IDOCs for TID. So if we pass the TID, it will give the IDOC number. So this is the details I have configured. So I have configured the actual IP, username and password, and along with all these details in my config.property now, which is I have already here. And I'm going to add a HTTP listener now. So once I add the listener, I'll configure the listener property. So I'll leave the port as default, which is a 8081 port. I'm not going to change that. And I'm going to give only the endpoint. Okay, so in the endpoint I'll just give something meaningful, because in this method, right, I'm going to get the TID, right. I'll just give my method as get IDOC number from TID. So this is the method number I'll define in my endpoint. So I'll just set the path here. So this is my endpoint, and we need to give the default configuration also. You have to give the connector configuration first. So I just open and click OK. So I just gave that. So now this will become tick. Okay, so there's no error now. So now what I wanted to do is I just wanted to send some information from the query parameter. Okay, so query parameter, I'll just say TID, and I'm going to send this value. Okay, so the TID is going to come in the query parameters, which I will extract it. So what I'm going to do is instead of extracting, I'm going to set some variables. Okay, so I'll use the set variable. In the set variable, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the values which is coming from the HTTP request, and I'm going to assign it here. So TID is my field name, and where I'm going to take, I'll just take it from attributes, and I'll just take it as a query params, and I'm going to give the field name as TID only. Okay, so this is my field name, and I just give yes. I'll give save. So I have selected the variable now which is coming from the HTTP request, and I saved it as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call that method, right? So I'm going to call this function which is available in SAP. So we have to add a SAP module. So I'll just go to the Mule palette. I'll check in the add module section, I'm going to add SAP. If you see here, SAP by default it's not there, and we need to search it from the exchange. Okay, so I'll search it from the exchange. So I have not configured any Anypoint account, so I'll just quickly configure that as well, so that it connect to my Anypoint platform to retrieve the module, the SAP module. Okay, so I'll just fill my detail of my Anypoint account. So it is a trial account only. So once you configure, right, it's cached, and then in the information available for 7 days. So I'm using for the first time, so it's coming. So now it's connected, and I'm going to search SAP. Okay, so once you click SAP and wait for it, or you just click enter, then it will search. So I didn't give enter, so it automatically searching. So if you see SAP connectors, this is the one I'm going to add, because by default, right, in my module the SAP is not there. So I'll just click finish. So now SAP module is getting downloaded from the exchange, and it's coming to your local, right? So it's getting downloading now. It's getting downloaded now. Okay, so now again I'll go and see this module section. Yeah, it's automatically added here, and these are the functions are there. So what function I'm going to use it? I'm going to use synchronous RFC function. Okay, synchronous remote function call I'm going to invoke. I'll just drag and drop into my editor. Okay, so I just put it into this canvas, right? So I added it. Now in this method we are going to invoke some method which is RFC, which is available in SAP, right? So we need to give a SAP detail. So I'll just go and click and configure the SAP connector configuration. So in the connector configuration, we need to give some library and also some connection details. So you select simple connection provider, and this library, IDOC library, JCO library, native library, you can ask your SAP team. So they will download it from the SAP marketplace and they can share it with you. So I have these files already downloaded. So I'll add that. So first we need to give the IDOC library. I'll just download. So SAP IDOC 3 file I have given. I give OK. So now this exclamation mark, right? The warning, it will go now with the tick mark. Yeah, it's added now. And I'll add the JCO library. So I have already downloaded in local, and I'll use the JCO SAP JCO 3 file and click OK. So that is also will get tick. Okay, so I do not have this file now, JCO native library. So I'm not going to give now. But when you have from your SAP team, you have to configure this one. So if it is a Windows, then you have to give .dll file, and it's like it's also SAP JCO.dll. And if it is a Linux platform, there is a file called there's a .so file is there, which you need to place it. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from my configuration only. So I already stored my configuration. It's SAP username, and I give my key. So as I'm taking it from the config file, we have to give $ curly braces SAP dot password. So this is the key name. Okay, so and then curly brace SAP dot system number curly brace, and SAP client ID SAP client number. So this is the key name I have given in my config file. Okay, so I have to use the same key SAP dot host. So this is my keys. Okay, so I'll just double check it. I have given everything correctly or not. So SAP host I have given correct, username, password, system number, client number. So everything I gave correctly. Okay, so I'll just give OK. So even though I configured in the config file, and I didn't select what is my config file in the global element. Basically, I didn't configure anything. So I'll create and I'll locate that my configuration file, global configuration, and configuration property. Give OK. Then I'll browse the config.property file, which I created and I have configured with my SAP server details. So I locate my file. I'm just saying, what is my configuration property. So this is my configuration property. I'll give OK. Then, I'll give OK again. Okay, I'll save it. So what we have done is in this one, right, we have configured the synchronous function call, and we have connected to SAP. I'll just click this one and I'll just try to do a test connection. So we already configured the required parameters, and we are taking it from the config file. So I'm just trying to do a test connection now. So it's giving lifecycle initialize phase error. Okay. I'll just check that error. So as we have got some error, right? So what I have done is, so this file, right? So even though, earlier I don't have it, I just downloaded from the internet, and then, I have given this DLL file as well. So you select this or any, then you give the DLL, but I know this DLL is not correct because it's 32-bit only, because my system is 64-bit. So it's not throwing error here because these config and all, it's getting added in our POM file. Even though it's throwing an error because it's not the right file, but again, earlier when I don't give that information, it's throwing an exception. Now, when I even, if I fill some information, I'm able to connect it. So the SAP system, we are able to connect from the configuration value, whatever I gave. I'll just give OK. So once I give OK, right, so I'll just come to my connection property. So once you open this file, right, or this method, we are going to take this function name, right, and if you see, it's trying to fetch the metadata keys. Okay, so you just keep here, for 1 or 2 minutes. Then what will happen? If the connectivity is faster, right, it will be immediate, and it is trying to connect to SAP, and it's trying to fetch all the functions which are available in the SAP system. Okay, so that's what you are going to see now. So what has happened is it has connected, and it has fetched all the functions which are available in SAP. Okay, so you see so many functions are available, which are, it's coming as part of the inbuilt functionality, right? But what we are going to do is, I'm going to use only the specific method which I want, right? So which is inbound IDOC for SAP. So I'll just, you can type also, so that, it will populate that one. Whatever inbound it's coming. So I'll just say inbound IDOCs for TAD. So this is the method I'm going to invoke. And yeah, so we have selected that, right? So now this method needs some input, which we need to pass it, right? Or which we need to map it. So I'm going to use some transform message. So if you see here, right, it's getting the metadata now for this method. If you see this one, it's still getting loaded. So what is the payload we need to pass, right? So it is solving a metadata. Yeah, it came here. So if you see here, the payload, what they need for SAP, it is expecting some inbound IDOC TAD and import, and you have to pass the TAD here. Okay. So once it pass that, then it will give the output. So we need to pass in this structure, because this is the structure SAP RFC expects. Okay. So I'm going to map it. So how we will map it? So we add a transform message, right? I'll add a transform message step before this one, and whatever the variable we have added, right? So which is having a TAD, which I have extracted from the query parameter, right? So that one, it's coming in the TAD is a field name, and we are assigning TAD as a variable, right? So this variable, I'm going to map it. So I'll go to the transform message, whatever this TAD value, I'm going to map it to that particular input, right? So TAD is my input, and here this is the TAD we need to map. Okay, so I'll just drag and drop and map it, right? So now I mapped it. So if you see here, so this is mapped. This, whatever the TAD, which is our HTTP attribute, whatever we have sent it, and which we have mapped with a variable, right? That variable, and we are assigning to this in TAD, right? So now it is saved. Now it is added. Now it is mapped, right? Now this can, it will go here, and it will call the function, and then, it pass this TAD value, and it retrieve the response. So I'll just open I'm going to run this one. So quickly for that, right? So I'll just, I'll open the Postman, and also I'll start this application. Okay, so it's getting saved now. So once it's saved, right, so I'll just start the application in parallelly. So it's getting saved. Yeah, the Postman also open. So in the Postman, right, I'll try to set it, what is the URL we need to invoke, and I'll keep everything ready before, the application come up, right? Yeah, it's getting saved still. So I'll skip this registration process. Okay, it's saved. So I'll just right click and I'll run this project. Okay, so that, okay, yeah, so this is error is coming because I have given a wrong DLL, right? So that is why it's coming. So you can see the problems as well. So it will show one error with the DLL only because the JCO library, right? So which I have not given the correct one. So that's why it's not able to recognize it. So that's still okay for to run this process. But in actual integration, you have to give the proper DLL which you have got it from the SAP team, which they might have downloaded from the SAP marketplace. Okay. So before that, right, I'll just click this one. And what we have done is we have started in 8081 port, right? 8081. And what is the method we gave? So I gave the endpoint as get IDOC number from TID. Okay, I'll just copy this entire thing. Get IDOC from TID, and this is the sample value which is already there in the SAP system. Okay, so this is the transaction ID which is already there in the SAP system which I'm connecting. So that value I'm passing it, and I'll just come and see, our application has started or not. So it's still coming up. So it's building the package, and it has to deploy it in our Mule local runtime, right? So that is the activity is happening now. So now if I run this one, right, it will say the application is not running. So it's sending a request, and maybe it will not be able to reach. See, we are not able to reach, right? So because the application is still not running. Okay, so in this demo, right, so we are just seeing only one this synchronous remote function call, right? And if you're new to SAP, right, and this method, right, this inbound IDOCs for TID where I'm using TID, right? So this TID, how I will receive or how normally we receive. So we can send any data to SAP in IDOC format. For example, I wanted to send some order IDOC to SAP. So then when I send it from MuleSoft, right, so it will give some TID, transaction ID. The SAP itself will transaction ID. But internally, right, once the SAP IDOC reach to SAP, and it will immediately generate a TED. But in parallel, right, once it's received and it processed and it stores the data, then it generates some IDOC number. So that is what I'm trying to get the IDOC number. So it's in the last step. So the build is completed. It's initializing the app. So once we see the deployed step, right, so we will try to run it from our Postman, which is a HTTP client. So in this exercise, we are just using this one. But other than that, we have a lot of things, right? Because here we are using only the remote function call. For example, if you want to send IDOC, you can use this send IDOC. Okay, so but here I'm just invoking a RFC call only I'm invoking. So it's deployed. So let me run and see what is happening, right? So I'll just run it. So now what's supposed to happen? It will hit our listener. So the listener is already running, and our Mule application is already running, which will receive your request. And after that, I have set the attributes, right? Attributes, we have set it. Attribute, we have set it as a variable, right? So this as I have assigned as a TID, and then I have assigned, I am having a transform message which pass this TID value to actual input signature or input of our RFC method. So RFC method has some specific input format where we have to map it under the import section, where is a TID field where we are mapping it. Once we map it, and also we have given what is the SAP server detail from our configuration file, and also we have given all the libraries, and also we have given all the information with respect to SAP, right? Like the function model or the function which we need to invoke, right? The RFC function which you wanted to invoke, everything we gave. Now what happened? This is the input I passed. This is the IDOC number which is coming from SAP. This changing segment, right, which is the output of the RFC modules. This entire thing is the output of the RFC program. Okay. So, but this is the input which you passed, and then the changing segment as IDOC number. So what has happened now is it went to this method, and then it called SAP system. Sorry, I copied and pasted it. So that is it's coming twice. 1 minute. I'll just do a control Z. So I'm doing a control Z now. So we have only one method only, which is a remote procedure function call. So when it called, then it is calling the SAP, and it's retrieving the IDOC number as a result. So this entire thing is coming as XML. So if you wanted to convert to some other structure, right, then you can convert to some other structure, like if you want a JSON, if anything, or if you wanted to map only this IDOC number, right, that also you can map, and then you can store that value. Okay. 1 minute. So it's yeah. So this I accidentally added. I just remove it, right? I think this is the one accidentally added. Okay, so this is the one we have, and I'll just quickly show that what we have configured, right? So very simple. So we have configured everything, within a 5 minutes, right? So we are receiving a request and we are passing it to the RFC function, and SAP is executing the program, and it's real time. It's returning the result. And also, once we connected to SAP, once the test connection is successful, it is listing all the methods or all the RFC method available in the SAP itself, because those metadata is getting downloaded at our end. So we are able to see what are the methods are there. There only I have selected the specific method. For example, if you wanted to invoke some other method, for example, you have some method which will retrieve inventory details, then what you will do, you call that particular method, and you will say what is the input or what is the item number you wanted to pass, then it will give the inventory number. Similarly, this all get method, right? Similarly, they have a method for create the records as well. So then in that case, right, what we will do is we will log the transaction and we will call that BAPI, and then you'll just commit it, so that that record will get created. For example, I have to create some vendor information in SAP, so that is also possible via BAPI. So here we use inbound for IDOC for RFC, but when you browse it, there are a lot of things are there. Anything you can use it. Whatever the RFC model which is available in SAP, everything you can use it. Okay, so only thing is you have to put before the transfer message, and whatever the input or whatever the input is required for the BAPI, you have to just map it, so that the mapped value go to SAP, and SAP accepts it in XML format, and it keeps XML also in the response as well as XML format. And if you wanted to convert to some other format, again already, so how to map it to response, right? If you wanted to convert the entire things as a JSON, you can convert to JSON, or you wanted to specifically only you wanted to take the IDOC number value, that is also you can take it and you can respond in the response as well. So what we have done today, so we have created a project and we have added a HTTP listener to receive the request, and we have added a variable where we retrieve the query parameter variable, which is TID, transaction ID, and then we have used a transform message to map that value to SAP, and we call the RFC function in SAP, which gives a response back that we are printing a payload in our Postman, right? So it's going back to the source. And also I have added a config property, so that we can have our server detail in a config file, and these are the 5 configuration I have added in the configuration. So host name, username, and password, and these are the things, and this is the ID we call, and this is the one we input, and this is the output value, whatever the output value, right? This is the output value, right? So this is the one we retrieved from the SAP system, response from SAP, right? And this is our URL, and this is what we have tried today. So whatever we tried, it's it's only simple BAPI, right? And you can use any method, so that only thing is you need to pass the required parameter, so that it talks to SAP system and it retrieves the response back. And whatever we did, right, it's a real time. So if you have a lot of data available in your SAP system, you wanted to retrieve it, right? Then what you can do is you can call this BAPI or the RFC call directly, so that it calls it and it gives a response back in a real time. So this is what we call it in MuleSoft, right? API-led connectivity. Anything we will expose it as a API, and in the backend, right? Nobody with a simple connectors, we connect to SAP, and then we fetch the information. So how we are talking to SAP? We are through RFC. We are talking for the real-time synchronous call, right? So we are talking via RFC, but the source system which needs to consume, they need to know what we are doing in the backend, right? So how we are implementing it, they don't need to know. So they need to know only how they need to consume it via API, right? So here in the simple example, what we have seen, so they are consuming a method which is available in SAP via API as a front end. In the back end, we are using a RFC call, the synchronous RFC call we are using to retrieve the records. Thank you for watching. And if you like the content, you like it, and also comment it, then only I'll know what is your feedback, right? And mainly every demo I'll try to start from the fresh, so that whenever there is an issue, we can see how to solve it, as all those stuff, right? Today also, when I configure something, I didn't give the library, it was throwing the error. Then I was giving some library which I don't have. I downloaded from the internet, and then I configured, then it started working. Then I'm able to do a test connection, right? So that's why I always used to do it from the starting, so that it will be easy to follow as well. And mainly I have used the config file before starting the session itself, because I have using some IPs, right, and username and password, and So that is why I just configured that first. I started using this flow so that we can connect to the actual SAP system to retrieve the information. See it in a demo as well. Thank you for watching, and if you like the video, please also do subscribe in this channel. This channel, right, I always post a lot of videos related to integration. So there are a lot of videos, around 40 plus videos related to MuleSoft. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe, because I do see a lot of people are watching the channel but they didn't subscribe. So when you don't subscribe, right, so whenever I upload any video, you'll not get any notification, so you'll miss the content which you wanted to learn, right? So once you subscribe, you'll get a notification whenever I upload. Normally I upload in every week once, so that you'll get notified whenever I upload, so that it will be easy to follow and learn as well the new topic, right? So please do subscribe, and thank you for watching my channel. Thank you. Bye bye.